Good evening, class. This is Ms. Meyer. Today we're going to look at section 1.5, Solving Inequalities. Your learning target for today's lesson is that students will be able to solve inequalities. So let's just go ahead and look at this example. Cooney is trying to decide between two rate plans offered by a wireless phone company. So the first thing we want to do is we want to write an inequality to compare the price of Plan 1 to the price of Plan 2. Well, if you look at Plan 1's monthly fee, it's $35. Okay, and if you look at the price of Plan 2, it's $55. So obviously, if you only had to pay the monthly fee, it'd be cheaper and better to go with Plan 1 because 55 is greater than 35. However, if you go ahead and you look at how much it costs for additional minutes, it is 40 cents for Plan 1 and 35 cents for Plan 2. So in this case, if we're looking at minutes, we would want to go ahead and go with Plan 2 because 40 cents is greater than 35 cents. So it's all going to come down to, it's all going to depend on how many minutes you're actually going to use. The second question says, write an inequality to compare the price of the additional minutes in Plan 1 compared to the price of additional minutes in Plan 2. Sorry, I already kind of did that, so that was referring to this part above. The third question we have here is, if Cooney knows that she will use no more than 400 minutes per month, which plan is best for her? Well, the way we're going to look at this is that with Plan 1, it costs 40 cents for additional minutes. So that means minutes over 400. Okay, so let's just go ahead and look at this. She's going to, we don't know how many minutes she has, so it's going to be, she's going to take 40 cents times how many additional minutes she has. Well, what that's going to be with Plan 1 is the minutes minus 400 because it's additional. Okay, if we're going to go ahead and look at Plan 2, it's going to be 35 cents for any minutes over 650. Okay, so in this case, we really don't know which one will be best for her. It's going to depend on how many minutes she has. Okay, so if we go ahead and look at the fourth question, it says if she uses 1,000 minutes per month, which plan is best for her? So what we're going to go ahead and do is take and plug in 1,000 for each plan for the equations above and figure out which one is cheaper. So Plan 1, okay, it's going to cost $35, the monthly fee, plus 40 cents for the minutes over 400. Okay, and if you go ahead and calculate that, this is going to give us $275. Then if we go ahead and we look at Plan 2, the monthly fee for Plan 2 is $55. Okay, in this case, we're going to pay 35 cents for any minutes over 650. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in 1,000 for M, because we're talking about 1,000 minutes. And if you go ahead and calculate this on your calculator, you should get that it's $177.50. So obviously in this case, Plan 2 is what would be best. Okay. So we are going to solve inequalities. Solving inequalities is just like solving a regular equation. Okay. The only difference is that if you multiply or divide by a negative number, you must reverse the inequality symbol. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at example. It says 5 on here. It's 4 on your note sheet. So we're going to solve this. Just solve it like a regular equation. So if I seen this, I would say, well, add 9 to both sides. Okay, then I would have 11y, and I would have 13 plus 9 gives me 22. Then I would go ahead and divide by 11. So this is where you need to be careful, okay? So remember, if you multiply or divide by a negative, number, the sign, sorry, the inequality will flip. In this case, I'm dividing by a positive 11, so I do not need to flip it. So my solution is y is greater than 2. Then we need to go ahead and graph it. So what I recommend is always numbering a little bit on your number line, doing the number above and the number below. So I'm just going to say that this is 1, 2, 3. Okay. This one is y is greater than 2. Okay. So if it's greater than or less than, remember you have an open circle. So I'm going to make note of that. So open circle if it's greater than or less than. And remember you have a closed circle if it involves an equal to. So greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. Okay, so this one is just greater than, so it's going to be an open circle and says y is greater than 2. Well, 3 is greater than 2, so I'm going to go ahead and shade to the right. And there is my solution. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the next one, solve and graph. Same thing, going to just solve it like a regular equation. So first I would subtract 9 from both sides. So I have 7x is greater than or equal to. Negative 12 minus 9 gives me negative 21. And now I would go ahead and divide by 7. 7 is positive. I understand it's a negative 21, but I'm dividing by a positive, so my sign will stay the same. So x is greater than or equal to negative 21 divided by 3 is negative 21 divided by 7 is negative 3. Okay, so my solution is x is greater than or equal to negative 3. So I would have negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, greater than or equal to. So equal to, so I shade it. And then said x is greater than or equal to negative 3. So negative 2 is greater than negative 3, so I'm going to shade to the right. Okay. We want to go ahead and do the same thing. We want to solve and graph the following equation. So first thing you would do here is you would go ahead and you'd subtract 1. So I would have 2n minus 6 over 5 is greater than negative 1. Then I would multiply by 5 on both sides to get rid of that. This simplifies to 1. So I would have 2n minus 6 is greater than negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. Then I would go ahead, I would add 6. I would have 2n is greater than 1. And lastly, I would divide by 2. Once again, dividing by a positive, and so my sign does not flip. So n is greater than 1/2. And now we just need to go ahead and graph that on my number line. I'm going to do that this is 0, 0.5, 1. It's greater than, no equal to, so open circle. N is greater than 1/2. Well, 1 is greater than 1/2, so once again, I'm going to the right. Okay. I would like you to now pause and do number 8. Well, it's number 7 on your sheet on your own. Okay. And actually, we are going to stop there for today. We will finish the rest of the note sheet up tomorrow in class. Please make sure you do the video quiz, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.